You want to hear something ridiculous? I'm 106 years old, and I still have things in my closet that don't belong to my life anymore. A pair of handmade shoes I stitched back in 1983, soft leather. Perfect, seems earned. My feet are too swollen now to even slide into them. And yet I keep them. Why? Because humans are terrible at letting go. We hang onto objects like they're proof we mattered. Like if we keep the thing, we keep the time. My name is Vince Romano, and I'm going to tell you 10 things you need to sell, give away, or release before you retire, before life forces your hand. I'm not talking about sentimental heirlooms or a hobby collection. I'm talking about the things that quietly eat your freedom while you swear you own them. I learned most of this too late. I'm telling you so you don't have to pay the same tuition. 1. Let go of the house that's too big for your life. Now, my friend Lou Ferragood, man, construction hands, big laugh, had a 4-bedroom house in Staten Island, basement yard, a fig tree he planted in the 60s. He raised his whole family there. By 85, he lived in 3 rooms, kitchen, bedroom, bathroom. The rest of the house was just dust and old echoes he couldn't reach because stairs hurt too much. His kids begged him to downsize. He refused because the memories felt nailed to the walls. Then he fell down the stairs, broke his hip, and spent his last year in a facility. The house sat empty, draining money, until his kids sold it after he died. Here's the truth. The building is just wood and brick. The love happened inside you. You don't need the structure to keep the memories alive. If your home is now a burden to many rooms, too much maintenance, too many hazards, sell it, while you can choose the terms. To stop rescuing your adult children. This one makes people angry. Good. Let it. My son Dylan came to me in his 30s with money problems, bad decisions, fear, embarrassment. I handed him the money because I loved him. Then he did it again and again. Not because he was evil, because I trained him that I would always catch him. My second wife, Nina, sat me down and said, "You think you're helping, but you're teaching him he doesn't have to grow." She was right. I set a boundary. He was furious for months. Then he learned. Years later, he thanked me. Look at what you've given your grown kids lately. Ask yourself, did it help them stand on their own? Or did it keep them comfortable in the same pattern? 3. Sell the fun toys that have become expensive chores. Boats, RVs, fancy equipment, memberships you don't use. Anything that requires constant fees, repairs, and worry. A man I knew owned a beautiful boat and took it out maybe 6 times a year. The rest of the time it was just bills, storage, maintenance, insurance, surprise fixes. He didn't own the boat. The boat owned him. If you have to think hard about the last time you used it, you have your answer. Or get rid of the second car that just sits there if you're not commuting and you're not living 2 separate lives. A second car often becomes an expensive driveway ornament. Insure it, registration, maintenance money, leaking out for something you don't enjoy. I've seen couples sell that extra car and use the money for an unforgettable trip, or simply to make retirement less tight. Would you rather have a car aging in the sun? Pour a memory that actually warms you. 5. Release your work identity before it releases you. When I finally stepped away from my shop, I expected relief. Instead, I felt hollow. For decades, people knew me as Vince the shoemaker, and I knew myself the same way. Without that role, I had to face a question I'd avoided. Who am I when I'm not producing? If you're heading toward retirement, start building a self that has nothing to do with your title. Hobbies, volunteering, learning, friendships, anything that gives you purpose when the paycheck stops. Because if your whole identity is your job, retirement can feel like vanishing. 6. Sell your grudges. I once avoided a man for decades over something that felt huge at the time. Years later, I couldn't even remember the details. Then he died and the door to repair it died with him. Grudges don't punish the other person as much as they punish your own life. Pride is the most expensive thing you'll ever own, and it pays no dividends. 7. Stop performing for other people's opinions at a certain age. You realize something freeing. Most people aren't paying attention to you the way you think. They're too busy worrying about themselves. Love who you love. Take the class. Wear the bright shirt. Dance badly. The opinions of people who don't genuinely care about you are noise. Don't build your life around noise. 8. Let go of the need to control everyone you can guide. You can advise. You can love fiercely, but you cannot live other people's lives for them. Trying to control your adult children, your partner, your friends, trying to manage every outcome doesn't create safety. It creates distance. Trust the people you raised. Let them learn. Let them wobble. That's how humans become solid. 9. Sell perfectionism. Perfectionism looks like high standards, but most of the time it's fear wearing a nice suit. I made beautiful shoes, but I used to lose sleep over tiny flaws nobody else would ever notice. What a waste of life. Done is better than perfect. Shared is better than some days. Progress beats paralysis. 10. The biggest one. Sell someday. Someday is a thief. It steals your life while promising to return it later. Someday I'll take the trip. Someday I'll say the words. Someday I'll write the stories down. Someday I'll call. I waited too long on too many things. I've buried people I loved, and the worst regrets aren't the mistakes I made. They're the moments I postponed until the calendar took the option away. So do this. Write down 3 things you keep putting under someday. Then cross out the word and replace it with this month. Not this year, this month. Because here's the secret. Someday isn't a real day. It never arrives. I'm 1/6, and if I could sell you one more thing for free, it would be this. Sell your bitterness. It costs too much, and the time you have left, whether you're 26 or 66, serves better. Call someone you love. Say what you've been avoiding. Make the plan. Take the step. Not someday, now.